Hello, you guys. I am Jacob Heimovitz, and man, when I was a young kid at age 5, I'm gonna start over. When I was 4 years old, in late January or early February 2002, my dad took me and Dara, my twin sister, when me and my twin sister were both aged 4. My dad took me and Dara to see Disney's Beauty and the Beast in IMAX at the Lowes Cineplex Universal Studios Cinemas at Universal City, which is the closest IMAX movie theater. It was also the first movie theater I ever went to before it became an AMC theater when AMC purchased Lowes Theaters. And also, when I was 5 to 10, I've seen nearly 20 family children's movies aimed at young kids that are very popular, famous, good, iconic, memorable. And also most of them were animated, some were live action and animated, and you know what I'm saying? When I was 5 to 10, I went to 13 movie theaters near my house in the greater Los Angeles area, LA County, and I got to see Kung Fu Panda when I was 10, turning 11 on September 24th, as well as my twin sister turning 11 on September 24th, age 10. Either one of my aides, Nick or Zach, took me and Dara to see Kung Fu Panda at the nearby Pacific Sherman Oaks 5. At 4:30 after school. We had a blast there. We had a lot of fun. And on November 9th, 2007, when me and Dara were 10, as young children, either Nick or Zach, my aides, took me to see B-Movie, the new DreamWorks animated film at the Mann Theater at the Planet 16. Originally, I wanted to see it at the AMC at Downtown Disney, go to vacation at Disneyland, but we couldn't go there. I even saw Shrek the Third in theaters when I was 9, 2 times in theaters. Wallace and Gromit: Curse the Were-Rabbit, which was my first DreamWorks animated film I saw in theaters when I was 8, and I like those movies. Plus, I've seen a lot of Disney animated films in theaters. When I was 4 to 10, I've seen one Sony animated film in theaters called Surf's Up. When I was 9, I saw it 3 times in theaters at a nearby theater in Los Angeles, and I liked it. And I saw Happy Feet in the theater when I was 9 at the nearby Pacific Sherman Oaks Galleria 16, and I liked it. And I've seen lots of Disney movies in theaters that are animated when I was 4 to 10 when I was a little kid, including Ice Age 2 and Horton Hears a Who, which are now owned by Disney when Disney bought 20th Century Studios since March 2019. And even those 2 additional live action and animated films that I saw in theaters like when I was 8 and when I was 10 years old, I saw Alvin and the Chipmunks, the first film, the live action computer animated film, and Enchanted, which is very similar to Shrek, which is a live action film with an opening animated scene. I saw it at the new ArcLight Sherman Oaks Galleria, which is also Disney. It's also very similar to Shrek because it's a fairy tale spoof. But now, plus, those movie theaters I went to when I was 4 to 10 use sometimes digital projectors, and sometimes it's film projectors, and it's shown with digital surround sound from Dolby, DTS, or even Sony. But now in 2012, you got Dolby Atmos, and I gotta tell you is that Dolby Atmos is a different kind of surround sound. Instead of just surround sound, well, Dolby Atmos is more than surround sound. Instead of traditional surround sound, you get height channel surround sound effects. You get object-based 3D surround sound, multidimensional surround sound, which sound comes from all directions, including overhead. So sound surround sound is not just coming from every direction, but it's also coming overhead, above your head. Whether it's a plane flying over your head, rain flying over your head, helicopter flying over your head, and other cool sound effects. Like, since 2015, we had 2 4K high dynamic range movie theaters with Atmos like ceiling speakers. You got Dolby Cinema and IMAX Laser. And I've only seen one blockbuster smash hit film series in theaters at the IMAX Laser Theater called the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and one critically acclaimed DC Extended Universe movie at the IMAX Laser Theater, which is Suicide Squad 2. I've seen the latest G.I. Joe movie, Snake Eyes, in IMAX Laser, and I've saw my first IMAX Laser movie I saw in theaters before the coronavirus outbreak in China was Ad Astra. It got really good reviews and was meant to see in that IMAX Laser format. Since holiday 2017, my first Dolby Cinema I saw was Justice League, and it made money, but it didn't gross as much. It didn't gross over 700 million worldwide. It just grossed around 600 million worldwide. But I saw the Justice League director's cut on HBO Max. It was a much better version of the Justice League movie. I saw it in Dolby Cinema. I have the ticket, and the picture and sound was phenomenal. We had a blast seeing Justice League in Dolby Cinema. I've seen more than a dozen blockbuster smash hit movies in Dolby Cinema, including the Fast and Furious films, Hobbs and Shaw, and F9 in Dolby Cinema. I went to see, most recently, Free Guy and Ghostbusters Afterlife. And, I've seen 2 famous, popular, iconic, unforgettable, timeless classic, beloved. When I was an adult, I've seen 2 very famous, popular, iconic, unforgettable, beloved, timeless classic, global cultural phenomenal, blockbuster smash hit big, late 1990s films in the action adventure and the romantic disaster drama films. Titanic and The Matrix. I saw those 2 in Dolby Cinema, and they were just re-released movies released in the late 1990s from 1997 to 1999, which both won Oscar Academy Awards with very great special effects. And I saw Titanic in Dolby Cinema when I was 20, and the picture and sound was phenomenal. It was in Dolby Cinema. You get 4K and HDR, Atmos. And I saw The Matrix, the first Matrix movie, in Dolby Cinema with a friend, and it was best movie-going experience ever. And The Matrix and Titanic came out in the late 1990s, but they were both re-released as 20th anniversaries in Dolby Cinema in 2017 and 2019. And I saw both of them in Dolby Cinemas. They were awesome. I got to see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in Dolby Cinema. My twin sister and I got the tickets for Jurassic World double feature, including Jurassic World, seeing it before Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But we got there a few minutes late, and we had to refund the tickets because I had a very bad. So I had a freak out, but we refund them to Dolby Cinema because I wanted to go see Jurassic World in Dolby Cinema, but also I wanted to show my twin sister at Dolby Cinema. So we were stranded in Burbank for many hours before the nighttime showing of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdoms in Dolby Cinema. We went there. We had a lot of fun seeing. Me and my twin sister had a lot of fun seeing Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in Dolby Cinema. And I've seen the new Fantastic Beasts Harry Potter movie in Dolby Cinema in 2018. Great picture and sound. I've seen a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in Dolby Cinema. I've saw the only DC Extended Universe movie that I saw in theaters in Dolby Cinema a month before the COVID lockdown in California was Birds of Prey. That was the last movie I saw in Dolby Cinema before the COVID lockdown in California. It was a month. And in March 2020, and on March 13th, in mid-March 2020, when the coronavirus lockdown hit California, many blockbusters, including Birds of Prey and Bloodshot, got pulled from theaters, and all the major blockbusters were released on streaming. And now, when you go to the movie theaters, make sure you go to a Dolby Cinema at AMC or any IMAX Laser. Remember, I've seen a lot of IMAX Digital movies, and I don't like IMAX Digital because it's only a 2K 1080p SDR non-Atmos theater. It's a crappy version of IMAX because you're not only paying for the name IMAX, you're not getting a full IMAX picture of sound. Opposed to IMAX Laser, I've only seen 4 big blockbusters that are good. IMAX Laser is true IMAX. You get 4K HDR picture, very sharp, very bright, very detailed, very realistic, very clean, very dynamic, very great picture, paired with a 12-channel surround sound that adds not only speakers on the sides, but they add speakers on the top. You get 4 ceiling speakers that try to compete and challenge Dolby Atmos. It's an IMAX version of Dolby Atmos. And Dolby Cinema, you get Dolby Vision 4K HDR and Dolby Atmos. And, I saw Dune in Dolby Cinema. It was a much improved, much better version than the 1984 terrible version. You know, I've seen the Men in Black movie in Dolby Cinema International, the spin-off, which is not the best Men in Black movie. What was I thinking? I've seen, I've seen Terminator Dark Fate in Dolby Cinema. I've seen the only blockbuster movies I wouldn't see in Dolby Cinema or IMAX Laser is horror or disaster films. Unless it's about a disaster movie where stuff from outer space threatens to destroy the world, like a collision course or alien invaders, and a team of heroes have to stop both disasters to save the world. Whether it's Armageddon, Deep Impact, War of the Worlds, Independence Day, and many others. I like disaster films where outer space related stuff like a meteor or a comet or aliens threaten to destroy the world, and heroes have to stop those disasters. That's the only disaster films I like. I call it fantasy science fiction disaster movies. And I gotta tell you, I've seen 1917, Bad Boys 3 in Dolby Cinema. I've seen more than a dozen big blockbuster smash hit movies in Dolby Cinema, and only one single movie that's very good in IMAX Laser called Ad Astra. I've seen 3 blockbuster smash hit film series, 2 superhero, 1 action adventure, and hold on a second, Mom's watching. And I gotta tell you, the picture, the sound is totally amazing. Remember, don't go to a 4DX, ScreenX, or don't go to D-Box. Don't go to any movie theater format except Dolby Cinema or IMAX Laser. Even Universal CityWalk AMC at movie theater at Universal City, in late 2016 or early 2017, the AMC at Universal CityWalk, which is one of the closest theaters from my house, got renovated, including IMAX Theater got upgraded to Laser, and all those 18 theaters have Christie RGB 4K laser projectors. They're saying it has the best color reproduction of any projectors, probably significantly an increased contrast ratio, sharper, detailed visuals. It's a very good 4K laser projector. It's got Dolby Atmos. I call the closest AMC theater at the AMC Universal CityWalk at Cinema. is the Dolby Atmos 4K RGB laser projector theater. So you got great picture quality, great sound, and even one IMAX laser theater. One of my favorite movie theaters that's close to my house. And I gotta tell you, when you go to the movies, you have to prove that you're vaccinated during COVID or a negative test of COVID. I would recommend for people 12 and over, when you go to a Dolby Cinema or IMAX Laser, make sure you get vaccinated from COVID during COVID. Because if not, if you're not vaccinated, when you go to the movies, when you're not vaccinated from COVID, you can't come into the movie theater. Like I got vaccinated. Like all my friends, a lot of my family got vaccinated from COVID. And, you know, I love Dolby Cinema and IMAX Laser. The reason why I would recommend it is that they have been 4K HDR Atmos sound theaters since 2015, and they're the future of movie theaters. And Dolby Cinema is true Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. That's why it's called Dolby Cinema. It's a true Dolby theater with 4K Dolby Vision HDR with Dolby Atmos sound. And the Dolby Cinemas aren't the closest, but they're still much closer than the ones that are further. Even the closest IMAX Laser theater would be at CityWalk at Universal Studios. And, you know, Dolby Cinema and IMAX Laser both have much greater dynamic range, much better, much deeper than black levels, perfect inky black levels, very high dynamic range, 4K image quality, wide viewing angles, great shadow detail. You get a lot of sharpness, picture textures. Let me think. You get a lot of depth, full detail, realism. Sharp details, sharpness, clarity. You got a lot of clarity. You get very great uniformity. You get awesome resolution. You get lots of great, awesome, very great, awesome graphics and visuals. You get lots of let me think. You get lots of great brightness. You get lots of great, widest, expanded, highest color gamut. Man, the picture is so good. It's also paired with Dolby Atmos and also an IMAX version of Dolby Atmos. So instead of having traditional surround sound, you get 3D, object-based, multidimensional moving surround sound. You get sound from all directions, including above. So you get those ceiling height atmospheric sound from the movie theaters, from Dolby Cinema and IMAX Laser. And there are more Dolby Cinemas in bigger cities in the United States than IMAX Laser. But there's a lot of IMAX Laser theaters in the big cities. Like, man, IMAX Laser and Dolby Cinema has already changed my movie theater experience. And my mom's watching TV, so like ignore what my mom was watching on TV. Like, I gotta tell you, I had a big fun blast seeing big blockbuster smash hit movies in Dolby Cinema and IMAX Laser. You get great black levels, great colors, great textures, and also the sound quality in Dolby Cinema and IMAX Laser is much better, much more advanced. You got lots of bass. You got a lot of great, powerful, dynamic bass, dynamic range, power, precision, clarity, punchiness, sharpness, full detail, realism, mids, lows, and highs. Very crisp. It's so unbelievable. It's like when you're watching a Dolby Cinema or IMAX Laser, it feels like you're inside the action. It's like it's like you've never experienced it before. And Dolby Cinemas and IMAX Lasers are so awesome. But I don't like digital IMAX. No. I don't like digital IMAX. And what's worse, I hate going to 3D movies forever. Unless it's 4K laser HDR projectors. But 3D at theaters is so terrible and trashy. And the first movie that's animated to be shot in 3D was Chicken Little from Disney, which was the second highest grossing anime film of 2005. But it wasn't a great Disney film. I used to like it when I was a little kid, but it's not a great Disney film. It may be good, but it's still the second highest grossing anime film of 2005, and it was the first movie that's animated to be shot in 3D. But 3D is so terrible. It's like you're ruining the picture and sound. 3D is so bad. I've seen lots of big blockbusters in 3D, and they're terrible. Even digital IMAX is so terrible because it's just low contrast in digital IMAX. You're just paying for IMAX, but you're not getting a full IMAX or picture and sound. It's bad. And I don't like ScreenX. They don't give you 4K HDR picture, and 40X is not good. ScreenX is not good. D-Box is not good. And I never tried Cinemark XD. At my local Cinemark theater, they could have built this Cinemark XD theater at one of the bigger auditoriums, but it's way too expensive and it costs a lot of money, which is a big deal, which is a bummer. Sorry. When I've collected lots of movie tickets for seeing and enjoying major big blockbuster smash hit movies since late 2012, when I was a teenager. And even standard is fine. It's just not good. It's still like standard may not be good, but whenever you go to the movies, not only prove that you're vaccinated for 12 and over, but make sure you go to a Dolby Cinema or an IMAX Laser or a theater that has 4K RGB laser projectors and Dolby Atmos. That will make your viewing experience much, much better. And by the way, I already have a Dolby Atmos receiver, and I recently bought a 5.1.2 Dolby Atmos home theater system from Klipsch, the reference Premiere and Synergy series. So far, I got the speaker wires. I have an Onkyo Dolby Atmos receiver that has DTS HD Master Audio, not DTS:X. It has Dolby Atmos, Dolby Surround Up Mixer. It's got 4K UHD pass-through, and HDR. It's got Bluetooth. The biggest con for my receiver, I would say, is the lack of DTS:X, HDR, and streaming. It's still a very good receiver. It's not the best. I have a very awesome TV, an LG OLED TV from 2016 with 4K HDR, Dolby Vision. It's got much deeper than deep black levels, very high dynamic range, very great shadow detail, great picture textures, awesome picture, 4K HDR, Dolby Vision, wide viewing angles. It's got great uniformity. It's got everything you need for a modern 4K HDR smart TV. And I have the Sony Z9F Dolby Atmos soundbar with speakers and a subwoofer. It doesn't have upward firing speakers. I watched lots of movies on there, and it lacks true Dolby Atmos home theater because it does it only virtually, not with actual Atmos height speakers. So far the Klipsch rear surround speakers that two of them come in a bipole, and the big subwoofer, massive subwoofer, and a big center channel, they all came in the mail. I mean, they already came to my house, But what's missing and is getting delayed and is the Klipsch Tower Atmos speakers. I'll have to wait a little longer in order for the Klipsch Dolby Atmos Tower speakers to come to our house and set it up. I already bought a microphone for my Dolby Atmos receiver, and still, HDR worked flawlessly from the TV and receiver, but using optical didn't show Dolby Surround or Atmos. Using an HDMI would be a big difference. But the next video I'll talk about is after I set up my Dolby Atmos home theater system. I'll show you my tour of it, and I don't buy Dolby Atmos soundbars. I don't buy Dolby Atmos soundbars or just soundbars anymore. Now these days, I go by traditional home theater receiver and speakers with Dolby Atmos. If people who are in high school or in college have a job and they're saving money, not just only for buying a house, but they want to get this true home theater Dolby Atmos, I would recommend for you getting the TV that has great picture, great contrast, great black levels, great dynamic range, great all-fast viewing angle, great uniformity, great sharpness, clarity, detail, full realism, great textures, great shadow detail, very, very contrasty TV, and even a lot of great brightness, and also great processor on the TV. Make sure you get a TV that's very, very great. And also but when you buy a TV and Dolby Atmos home theater receiver, make sure you spend up to $3,000 to $3,500 when you have a job. But not every person's gonna want a Dolby Atmos home theater system with the receiver or a TV with that has great contrast. Like, I can't wait to set up my Dolby Atmos home theater system, and I'm gonna give my Sony virtual Dolby Atmos soundbar to my twin sister and Jonah, her boyfriend, who lives in an apartment in downtown LA that has they have an OLED TV, the LG OLED C1, but also her ceiling is not flat. It's just not flat. That's why the Dolby Atmos vertical surround engine with no upward firing speakers would work much better in Dara's room with a non-flat ceiling. And once I hook up my Dolby Atmos speakers, there are tower speakers with Dolby Atmos, the bipole speakers, the center channel and subwoofer and receiver, all hooked up to the TV with HDMI. Once I calibrate it with my microphone, it's gonna change my movie experience, my gaming experience, my music experience, my TV experience. Watching movies and shows with the Sony Z9F in my room, the family room because my ceiling is flat and 8 foot. It was so bad, it lacks true Dolby Atmos cinema. So I can't even tell where sound is coming above my head or not, whether it's objects flying above my head. It's a big ripoff. I regret buying this soundbar with no upward firing speakers or even any soundbar. Like, it's bad. It's not true Dolby Atmos. It will not give you true Dolby Atmos, the soundbar I have. It lacks detail, it lacks height effects. Watching movies with great sound, it's just not good on the Sony Z9F, I gotta tell you. But if you want to match going to a Dolby Cinema or IMAX Laser, get a Dolby Atmos receiver or good Dolby Atmos speakers and a very good TV like I have. The next review, I'll talk about my Dolby Atmos home theater tour with OLED TV once I set it up, and I'll talk to you about the next video. After that, I'll talk about why you should consider why you should consider a Dolby Atmos home theater system over a soundbar, and why I moved from a soundbar to a Dolby Atmos home theater system. That's a wrap. Bye.